Well, folks, welcome to Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm Joe James.
Is there a lion behind me?
And a couple of tigers and bears.
Oh, my. Hey, welcome to Las Vegas. I'm Kenny Chandler. We'd like to invite everybody to come join us on Fridays from 1 to 2 on WCOBM. And guess what?
We're going to take you beyond the cloud
and into the stars. I love it.
Welcome back to Beyond the Cloud, folks. We got Jimmy J.
WMEX in Boston. Hey, and listen, Jimmy, Mickey and I were talking about this, and I was thinking about it the last segment, and we both had the same idea. But I'm going to let her ask you
segments.
Yeah, segments. She's going to ask you a question that we both wanted to ask you. Go ahead, Mickey.
We were talking about when you work with as many celebrities as you have, and all of us here have, there's got to be somebody who is just a real wow moment for you, even after all the time that you've spent with different celebrities. Who was the person for you that when you met them, it was oh my gosh, this is so fantastic? Did you have one of those or several?
Yes. And it's one that, well, older people will know, but, a lot of people don't know. And it was Bobby V.
Bobby V.
Who sang Take Good Care of My Baby and Rubber Ball and Devil or Angel and all that. And you got to remember, I'm telling you, Bobby V meant more to me than meeting, the Beatles or, Creedence or anybody.
Wow.
Because growing up as a kid, Bobby V was my idol. And I don't know if you ever thought about this, but, you got this idol and you love this person so much and you go in your head. And I mean, most people do in your head, if I could ever meet that person, we'd be friends. I'm telling you, he'd love me. And I had this thing ever since he first came out in, 1960, 1959, right after the plane crash with Buddy Holly. That's how he was discovered. And I always said if I ever met him, we'd hit it off. And when I finally did meet him, we hit it off in a big way, an amazing way. And it was really kind of a horrible way to start my friendship with him, but I think it solidified my friendship, because what happened is he asked me to listen to a tape of his. Now, this is the first time I ever met him. Here I am sitting with my idol and we're having a great time, and he goes, Jimmy, I got this great tape. It's a new tape I'm coming out with, and I want you to hear it, man, and blah, 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 blah. And I said, I don't want to listen to it. And he goes, what do you mean? You just get done telling me what a big fan of mine you are. And I go, yeah, but I don't want to listen to this. I said, because I really don't want to have to criticize my idol. And he goes, no, you got to do it, man. And I said, I really don't want to. And he goes, how'd you like to have breakfast tomorrow morning? And I said, yeah, I'd love to. He goes, I take the whole tape home and listen to it. So I took the tape home, and I don't mind saying this because he knows it, and some other people know. Not many people know the story, but I take it home and I listen to it, and it's really not cutting it for me. I'm going, what is this? And he was so much more talented than what I was hearing on the tape. His live concert was better than that. And a lot of people don't sound as good in live. And I mean, his live concert was better, and I met him the next day, and he goes, so what'd you think of it? And I go, I wouldn't buy it. And he goes, what? I said, I'm sorry, man.
I love it. Oh, this is honest.
I love you, and you're, the man to me. But, if you want to ask me a question, I have to be honest with you. And I just said, it's not going to make it. And he goes, I'm going to prove you wrong. And I said, Bobby, there's nobody in the world that wants you to prove me wrong more than me. Because I love you, and I'd love to see you have another hit. And needless to say, the thing never did anything. It was horrible. So,
you were right.
Well, after Buddy Holly, they had that plane crash, he was compared to Buddy Holly a lot.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear. The baby was crying. Go ahead, I'm sorry, what'd you say?
I say, after Buddy Holly died in the plane crash, a lot of people compared Bobby V to Buddy Holly.
Yeah, and he knows it was the whole thing, and he sounded a lot like him. It was his idol growing up. He was going to go to the show that night and meet his idol, and it never happened. Instead, he wound up on the stage. When they went on the stage, they didn't even have a name for the group, and the MC said, I think his name was Charlie or something, said, "Hey, what's the name of your group?" And he goes, "The Shadows." And he said it, I think, meaning he was shadowing Buddy Holly. And that's how it came out, Bobby V and the and, he had that similarity. And then he came out with the album, I Remember Buddy Holly and all that. But, I think it was so important that I did what I did, because then he knew that I was a real dude.
Right. Absolutely.
And most people would never talk to anybody the way I did to him, saying, "It's not going to happen, man." Most people would stroke his ego, and, I think that's what made us even closer than we ever were,
Yeah.
I think any artist.
Well, I mean, luckily for him, it wasn't all about the breakfast for you.
Well, any artist
the saddest thing about this whole story, and it breaks my heart, and I'm really, really bummed out about it, and Bobby doesn't, I don't think, even know who I am anymore. And it's because he has Alzheimer's. It's such a nasty, horrible disease. The last time he called me about, I don't know, maybe 8 months ago, he called me, and he actually didn't call. His son did. And he said, "Hey, Jimmy, Dad wants to talk to you." I said, "Okay, when?" He goes, "Right now." And so he got on the phone, and we were talking. It was almost like a goodbye call, I think, in my heart. And what happened was, I said, "Hey, man, I was with Tony Butala the other day. He told me to say hello to you." And he goes, "Tony Butala, who's that?" And I go, "Tony Butala, from the Lemon?" And he goes, "I don't think I know that group." And that's when I knew.
All right. Well, God bless him.
Tony is a friend, so,
where's he living now, Jimmy? Where's he live?
Well, he has a place in Tucson, and he has a place in Missouri, too. So
where's he from originally?
His wife passed away last year. She had lung problems, and he made it through that, and it's just very, very sad.
Where's he from originally?
From Fargo.
That's what I thought. I thought he was from North Dakota. Yeah. So I thought so.
Such wonderful stories for you to share with us. It's so amazing that you got to have such an incredible relationship with someone that was your idol, and you became a very real factor to him in a world full of yes men. You were a real friend for him. That's amazing.
You got to understand. He introduced me to Dick Clark. He told Dick Clark that Dick Clark needed me. And I was going to be, everybody knows about Branson and what a hotspot that was. I don't know if it's still as hot as it was, but they were actually building a radio station for me in Branson to have me broadcast live from the Dick Clark American Bandstand Theater. And the whole thing fell apart. It's really a shame. And, Dick made his last radio appearance on my show. And I did Dick's as well. But I have so much respect for Dick Clark as well. I'll never forget it. I was trying to get Dick to do one more show with me. Come on, Dick, one more show before you're gone. And he knew he was gone. Everybody knew. And he said to me, and I have it on tape, him actually talking to me, and he said, "Jimmy," he goes, "it's okay to talk to you on the phone." He goes, "But I don't want people to hear my voice and have me go out the way I sound. I want them to remember me for being me, not for being the guy you're talking to right now."
Wow.
So that was pretty heavy,
Nice.
But yeah, I've met everybody. I've been to the Grammy Awards, the Academy Awards, the Soul Train Awards, the Vocal Group Hall of Fame Awards. It's pretty amazing, I've been with Whitney many times, and that's another whole our show. And I was very involved with Bobby Brown and the New Edition when they first started with Maurice Starr. And if you were to interview Maurice, if you get for your show sometime, you guys would love it. You have a good thing with him. He's the guy who started New Kids on the Block and New Edition, and we're great friends. And he'll tell you right up, "Jimmy, you were right there from the beginning." And I always remember sitting there telling Bobby as a kid I said, Bob, you need to stop hanging around with these punks you're hanging around with because you're going to become them, and you can't do that. And needless to say, the history is there. I guess maybe he's straightening out now, but it's a little too late.
Right. Well, Jimmy, thanks for being with us on the show.
Time runs fast.
It does run fast. We'd love to have. Will you come back on with us here soon and share some more of your awesome stories and our moments with us?
Anytime. I've got some good ones.
Love it.
One of Bulge's stories, by the way,
All right.
The gangster.
Nice.
Hey, Jimmy, thanks, buddy, for calling in. I want to remind you. I want to remind you. I want to remind you what Ray Stevens.
Yes.
Yeah, you know what he says?
What's that?
Reeve damn dirty boy.
Folks, thank you for being with us on the show.
Take care, my man.
Happy Friday. Have a great weekend. And remember, go beyond the cloud
and reach for the stars.
Arrivederci, boy.
Beyond the cloud. Your desktop, your mobility, and your security, 24/7 support. Take your business beyond the cloud. Work less, worry less, effortless.